Good morning, Ian Crouch with your 8:30 Hunter News update. A search is resuming for a man who's been missing in the water off Stockton Beach for around 17 hours. The man was with a group of 4 people who got into difficulty yesterday afternoon after heading in for a swim. 3 of them were rescued, 1 taken to hospital as a precaution. The search for the man was suspended at nightfall. A 97-year-old Uniting Church minister is one of more than 100 people arrested after protesters overstayed their welcome at the port of Newcastle. The group was given permission to block the harbour for 30 hours in protest at the coal industry. As the end of the demonstration arrived, dozens remained in the water in kayaks, canoes and pontoons. Alan Stewart and his son used a dinghy to take part.
I agree with rising tides' whole attitude and what they're trying to do.
104 people have been charged. Major work on the Singleton bypass is expected to get underway by the middle of next year. It comes after Aconia Constructions was selected as the successful contractor to build the $764 million 8-kilometre bypass. Traffic is expected to start flowing by the end of 2026, and Regional Transport Minister Jenny Aitchison says it will remove a major bottleneck which has existed for years through Singleton.
We know that in the Hunter we have a lot of traffic between major town centres that are held up in Singleton. This will enable them to get through. It's really significant. Great to see that the contracts have been signed and that we will see work starting very soon.
Advocates for restored passenger rail services between Maitland and Cessnock are ramping up their campaign. A petition calling on the state government to preserve the corridor for public transport users has received more than 1,200 signatures. And train driver and former Cessnock political candidate Andrew Fenwick says they're developing a business plan for their proposal.
Part of the big gain here is going to be the average speed. Like the old timetables for that corridor averaged out at around 55, 60 kilometres an hour, mainly because it was coal line and the rolling stock wasn't that great. But there's plenty of opportunity on that corridor to lift the average speed up to a point where it'll be very competitive with a car. Like even if you were just going to Maitland, you'd almost be better off getting on a train from Cessnock.
Lake Macquarie residents are being encouraged to take advantage of new self-access technology at the LGA's public libraries. The new technology will allow library card holders to visit the Cardiff, Spears Point and Wangi libraries and borrow items anytime between 7am and 7pm. Council's Coordinator of Cultural Experiences, Martin Payne, says it means locals will be able to use the facility before and after work or school.
If they're not a member, it's very easy to become a member. They can either join online or visit one of our libraries to do so. And once they're a member, they can choose an induction time that's available via the Lake Mac Library's website.
More than 40 years after it rolled off the Carrington shipways, the Queenscliff Ferry is about to resume service on Sydney Harbour. The freshwater class ferry has undergone months of restoration work at a cost of more than $114 million. It will start on the Manly to Circular Quay route in time for the Christmas holidays.
2NURFM Sport.
Despite a devastating 3-0 loss, Archie Goodwin described Saturday's match against the Mariners as unreal. The 19-year-old scored on a 28-minute stint off the bench in his first match since back surgery. Coach Rob Stanton says Goodwin gave the team hope and sparked a fight back in the second half.
I was always going to look to get Archie on about 30 minutes today, get him out there, and I knew he'd make a good difference with his movement, which is what we needed. Again, we're a young team. We've got a lot of lessons to learn. We've got more growth in us, and you just sometimes you're going to lose games.
Charlestown have secured first innings points on day 1 of the Newcastle District Cricket Association's first grade competition on Saturday. Batsman Adam Winchester blasted 96 in 66 balls to see the side finish 61 runs clear at 4 for 167. Charlestown captain Daniel Arms says the side have put themselves in a good spot. And Newcastle's Mariah Williams says she is proud of the New South Wales Pride's effort at the 2023 National Finals, despite the team leaving without a medal. That's sport. I'm Holly Fishlock.
And the winning numbers in Weekend Lotto are 17, 20, 30, 36, 37 and 44, and the supplementaries are 4 and 19. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.